Grounded 2 is set to release here in just under 24 hours. I'm going to go over everything we know so far and all of the launch details. That way you're prepared and ready to go for what the game actually entails, including all the tech analysis we have currently for both the Xbox and the PC release. That'll include some new systems and even some pre-download information. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, World of Utopia, here back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Grounded 2. Okay, so first up, let's get into some of the launch details, which specifically here we do have the release times in case you're out of the loop. I've seen a lot of discussion and confusion around this on the subreddit. Some people thought that it was at a different time, but here are actually the official release times. Now again, it is dependent on your time zone. This is a global release, so you shouldn't be able to play it early dependent on where you're located. It's not a midnight release like some other games. As you'll see here, for example, New York is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, while Central Time would be at 12 p.m. and Pacific Time would be at 10 a.m. Again, the full list of time zones here in case you're located in any of these regions. I'll also probably include a time conversion down below in the description in case any of your time zones aren't listed here or you just want to convert to it. As I mentioned, no, the New Zealand trick will not actually work since this is a global release and not a midnight release, and that also is dependent on when the servers go live. Now, I've tried to dig up as much information I can around the pre-download. Currently, you technically can pre-download on the Xbox app on PC or even on the Xbox itself. However, it is only letting you download a 10 megabit patch, which is essentially a license. When you do actually try to go download it though, it does say it is around 29 gigabytes. Online currently though, it says it's around 40 gigabytes of free space needed, and that is also on the Steam spec sheet. That definitely could change, and it could be larger than this 29 gigabyte showcase. But that's what I found so far. Again, this could be different on the Xbox platform. As of right now though, on PC it does show 29 gigabytes. Steam right now shows absolutely nothing, not even the price, which we'll get into in a minute, but really nothing is there on the Steam page. And all that contains right now is an add to wish list. So unfortunately, it does seem like this is not going to be a pre-download game, and you will need to download it as soon as the servers and update goes live. Which again does happen July 29th, other than the launch times. That is going to be on Steam, Microsoft Store, and the Xbox Series X and S, with it being a Day 1 Game Pass game. This is also not available on the Xbox One. They mentioned that they wanted this to be a next-gen title, which means that there is no cross-saving with Grounded 1. However, there is cross-play between Xbox and Steam or the Microsoft Store, so you can still play with PC players or Xbox players. From my understanding, pricing has been essentially confirmed, even though there isn't a showcase on the Xbox Store or even Steam. Right now, the base game is $29.99, and the Founders Pack is $39.99, which if you did want to buy the original edition base, then you can get the Founders Upgrade for $9.99. Or the same thing applies there. If you did get the Game Pass edition, then you can upgrade to this Founders Edition. You can see here it does include 4 premium skins and emotes, as well as an art book and soundtrack that is inside of the game. They do mention that more items will be added with secrets, although they have clarified this that none of the additional items will affect gameplay or progression. They are purely cosmetic or collectible. They actually did officially answer this also through their dev Q&A, so it's not just contained in this article, it also is through their dev Q&A. Speaking of the dev Q&A, they actually overviewed a ton of information here. Now, this information has actually been collected together with several different articles, which I will have these sources linked down below, as well as the developer Q&A that they did answer. First up here, for the campaign and world size, they do mention that the early access map is roughly the same size as Grounded 1's final backyard. So essentially what that 1.0 release was, which wasn't from the early access build. So it should be quite huge. I mostly only did play early access of Grounded 1, and while it mostly seemed like a demo or test, this one does seem like it's actually near a full launch for its early access. That will actually include the full Act 1 campaign, the intro, midsection, and even a boss. This one is currently set in 1992. The Omniant returns as the main antagonist, and that's going to feature some new narrative structures, a story mode which is playable at launch, creative mode, custom rules, and even a playground mode, although they will be coming post-early access. So currently just with launch, it's story mode, creative mode with or without bugs. As I did mention with multiplayer, it is cross-play with PC, but this is a shared world experience, which means it is peer hosted. There currently is no PvP, so friendly fire toggle only on the hardest difficulty currently, and no dedicated servers or split screen right now, although they do mention that it is potentially under review. There's also a ton of new systems and combat upgrades. There's some brand new Omni tools like the Combine Axe, Hammer, Shovel, and Repair tool, which does free up actually 3 inventory slots for you. They did show off this in a couple videos, the buggy mounts, which are rideable insect used in combat and resource hauling. This will act like a mobile scaffolding during base construction. There's also something called an archetype, which is a new soft class system that will replace mutation stacking and allows for clearer rules without micromanagement. They've done a bit of combat overhauling here, like the enemies will now block attacks, and you have a dedicated dodge button, where they do mention that combat is focused on AI duels and movement. They did also mention that was part of the reason why it's not going to the older gen consoles, is because of the AI systems, basically needing more CPU and GPU power there to kind of construct that. There's also going to be some new little encounters, which are micro random events scattered across the yard, which do encourage repeat exploration. Speaking of that, they went over progression and gameplay features. Currently, achievements will not actually be in the early access build. As I mentioned before, Founders Pack is cosmetic only, so there is no stat boost with that or anything from the store page. The mutation system did get replaced, and a full co-op support at launch. Speaking of some of the tech stuff, this is one I've been able to dig up. There's been a lot of back and forth information on this, and I've had to do a lot of confirmations on what they exactly said. So currently for the PC and console tech status, right now the Steam Deck version is playable. It is rating with a yellow check mark. However, it is not verified by the devs. So it is unofficially supported, but right now up in the air is the ultra-wide monitor support may or may not work. That is still being validated. Unlocked frame rate on PC and Xbox Series S was suggested by the devs but not confirmed, where the Xbox Series X is currently targeting 4K 60 FPS in the performance mode. That one has not been officially stated. Right now, the ones that are unconfirmed currently is actually the upscaler tech. Right now, no upscaler tech was showcased or even shown during the official grounded footage. They also didn't mention this at all on the dev Q&A. It's not listed on the Steam page or even Xbox, and as of right now, Nvidia and AMD don't have it as a supported title as of July 28th, so this thing might not even have FSR, XESS, or DLSS technology. Would be super unfortunate, although I'm sure someone will come out with a mod that actually does incorporate that. I'm really hoping we don't have another Starfield on our hands where they don't want to bring in DLSS because of FSR, seeing as FSR is a harder implementation, meaning they have to do more work to get it working, meaning essentially they have zero reason not to incorporate DLSS, since the process is nearly 1/10 as hard. But if we do have any updates there, we'll try to let you guys know. As of right now, review footage and all that stuff has been super murky. It seems like reviewers have only been able to show certain footage, so right now it doesn't seem like there's any verified benchmark footage for that, or even any verified review footage. Some is coming from a German outlet, so as of right now it does seem like it's very limited. Now they did also discuss a post-launch roadmap. There is a public roadmap that is coming post-launch eventually, which does also include some super boss encounters and additional zones already planned. A hardcore sandbox AI simulation systems teased for the future. Again, why they technically did have to drop the last-gen console. They did mention that PvP, split screen, and server hosting may return if players do eventually want it, but is not currently something they have looked at in the pipeline. Again, a lot of this information has been super murky, whether it's not having DLSS or FSR at launch, which again is unconfirmed, even the price tag not being available on the Xbox Store or even Steam page as of right now, although it does seem like it's officially confirmed by a lot of official outlets. We'll have to wait and see on everything though. Hopefully I did piece everything together. As I mentioned, all the sources for everything is in the description down below. If you enjoyed today's video, like and subscribe, and until the next one, deuces.